You all are doing good. In the previous class, we discussed about sets. So, so what is a set? A set is defined as the collection of well-defined, distinct objects. So, what do you see in the first picture? Is it possible for you all to know the exact number of fishes that live in the ocean? Absolutely no, right? What about the second picture? Is it possible for us to count the number of fingers? We can, right? So now let us name this first picture as set A and then the second picture as set B. So what difference have you observed in these two sets? The only difference is it differs in number of elements or members they contain, right? So in today's class, we will be discussing about different types of sets. Null set is otherwise called as empty set or void set. So null set is a set that contains no elements at all. It is represented with brackets like this. So an example of null set can be a set of counting numbers between 5 and 6. Obviously, there are no counting numbers between 5 and 6. So this is all about null sets. Next we will discuss about singleton set. So what is a singleton set? As the name suggests, a singleton set is a set which contains only one element. Only one element. See, for example, it can be the set of all even prime numbers. So what is the set of all even prime numbers? Let us start with prime even numbers. Even number starts with 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, etc. So what is the set of all even prime numbers? It can only be 2. 2 is the only even prime number, right? So thus this is an example of singleton set. Another example is uh, example 2, like a equals to x such that 3 less than x less than 5, and then x belongs to a natural number n. So, what are how many elements will lie between 3 and 5 when x belongs to a natural number? Only one element, that is 2. So, this is an example of singleton set. Next, we will be discussing about finite set. So, as the name suggests, finite means it is a set which contains a definite number of elements. For example, it is a set of all colors in the rainbow. Obviously, a rainbow has a certain number of colors, right? So has some definite it has some definite number. Likewise, the next example, the set of all letters of the English alphabet. The number of letters in the English alphabet are 26. Right, right. Okay. Next, we'll be discussing about infinite set. So, infinite set is the opposite of finite set. It is a set which cannot be listed at all. It is like a never end. It has never ending elements. For example, if you see a set of all prime numbers. So, if you take, for example, set of all prime numbers, there are n number of prime numbers. Start with 2, 3, etc. It keeps going on. There is no end to it. And our next example, set of all rivers in the world. Of course, there are so many rivers in the world. Again, there is no end to it. So such sets are called as infinite sets. Next, we're going to discuss about equal sets. So what do I mean by equal sets? Let us take any two sets, A and B. A and B. When do we call this set to be equal to? Let us discuss with the help of an example. So, example goes like this. Let A be a set contains elements 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And B be a set which contains elements 4, 1, 5, 6, and 3. Now, let us count the number of elements first. How many elements are there in set A? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5. There are 5. In set B, again there are 5. And if you see, the number of elements are exactly the same, as well as the element number as well as the elements are same in this. It's just the order which differs. So if a set is in which the number of elements and the elements are same, then a set is said to be equal. Next, equivalent set. So what is equivalent set? equivalent sets have different elements, but then they have the same number of elements. So what do I mean by saying this is they have the same cardinality. Cardinality is nothing but the number of elements in the set. So if you take for example, P is a set which consists of how many elements? Let us count 1, 2, 3 and 4. Consists of 4 elements. Likewise, Q also consists of 4 elements. Then I can call P to be equivalent to Q. Yes. And then another example, let X be, X is an integer, and then B is a natural number. Then I can call C is equivalent to D. So the only difference between equal and equivalent set is that equal sets have equal number of elements as well as same number of elements, same type of elements I mean to say. Whereas an equivalent set only has the same number of elements, they may not necessarily have the same elements. Elements may differ, but then their cardinality is nothing but number of elements will remain the same. I hope I'm clear enough. So, as we discussed in the previous slide about cardinal numbers, the cardinal number is the number of distinct elements in a set. Distinct means the elements should not be repeated. So, what is a cardinal? So, cardinal number is represented as n of a. So, example 1, let us say A is such a set which consists of 4 elements 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So, therefore, n of A is 4. So, n of A has 4 elements. Example 2, find the cardinal number of the following. B is such a set which consists of planets in the solar system. So, how many planets are there in the solar system? 8. So, basically, cardinal number is the number of distinct elements. We have to only count the number of elements in the set. We have universal set. What is a universal set? A universal set is a set which contains all the elements of the set under consideration. So basically, if you take for example, A is Earth, Mars and Jupiter, then my universal set will consist of all the planets of the solar system, right? If you take another example, let there be 3 sets A, B and C. Now, if A consists of elements 1, 3, 6 and 9 and B consists of elements 2, 3, 4 and 5 and C consists of elements 5, 3 and 9, therefore my universal set will consist of all the elements but without any repetition, if you see over here. So my universal set will consist of all the elements, but the only condition is it should not be repeated. The elements should not be repeated. Next we have subset. So if you take any two sets A and B, so what is a subset is if every element of A is also an element of B, then we call A to be a subset of B. Then this is the notation. This is how we represent the subset as we write A is a subset of B. This is how we write, which means if an element A belongs to A, that means the element A also belongs to B. In case if A is not a subset of B, then we write it as this: A is not a subset of B. And then see, for example, I'm saying element 1 is a subset of 1, 2, 3. How can I say? Because if you see in 1, 2, 3, you have 1 over here, right? Therefore, I can call element 1 to be a subset of 1, 2, 3. Whereas if you take in this case, this set 2, 4 is not a subset of 1, 2, 3. Why? Because in this set, you do not have 4 over here. In case if there was 4, you could call it as a subset. But just because there isn't any 4 over here, we can now consider this to be a subset of 1, 2, and 3. And then this is very important, students. If A is a subset of B and B is also a subset of A, which means A and B are equal to each other, right? Okay, next. What is a proper subset? So when do we call a subset to be a proper subset is when, again, take for example, let us consider A and B to be two sets. And then if a set A is a subset of B, and also if it is not equal to B, then we can call A to be a proper subset, and then we write it as like this. See, for example, if you take A to be a set which consists of elements 1, 2, and 5, and B is consists of elements 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. If you see A and B, cardinality, what is cardinality? Number of elements. So if you see, number of elements in A is 3 and number of elements in B is 5. So A and B are not equal to each other, but still I can call A to be a proper subset of B. How come? Because A consists of all the elements of B. Am I right? A consists of 1, 2 as well as 5, which is there in B. Now I can call this to be a proper subset of B, and this is how we represented it as. Next, what is a disjoint set? Right from the term, you can understand disjoint means there is nothing in common between them. Basically, there is no element just common. If, say, for example, let A be a set which consists of elements 1, 2, and 3, and B be a set which consists of elements 4, 5, and 6. Do you find any element which is common? Absolutely no, right? So, it is a disjoint set. Then overlapping set, this is just the opposite of disjoint set. This basically, it should have at least one common element. See, again, if you take for example, set A has elements 1, 2, 3, and set B has elements 2, 4, and 5. Though they are different, but at least they have one common element, right? Two is the common element over here. So we can call this set to be as overlapping set. Next, this is very important, students. Next, we have power set. So, power set is basically a subset. It is a set of all the subsets. See, uh, how do we write a- so how do we write a subset? Before studying proper subset, let's get back to subset. So, how do we write the subset of A is first we write the singleton set, then we write A, B, and then C. Then we take two terms, like as in two elements together, like AB, then AC, then BC, then left out is ABC. Three together we have to take. All right, students. Now my power set is basically the set of all the subsets. So basically, you have to simply write the curly braces. That's it. You have to write it as a set. That's it. Whereas a subset is written separately without the flower brackets in the at the beginning and at the end. Whereas in a power set, you enclose it within flower brackets. That's the only difference between a subset and a power set. Okay. So this is very important property. So we already know that n of A is less than or equal to n of P of A. So what do I mean by n of A? N of A stands for the cardinality of A. Say for example, A, how many elements are there in A? Three elements are there in A. Am I right? So this is less than or equal to n of P of A. N of P of A is basically have to count the number of elements in P of A. Definitely there are more. How many are there? If you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So this property is proved over here. And then furthermore we have if in case n of A equals to m. So basically they are saying you consider n of A to be m. M stands for any number. Alright, then this is an important property, students. Then we can call n of P of A is equal to 2 power m. Can we prove this? Yes, we can. We can, and then in the second, we have second important property is the number of proper subsets of a set A is n of P of A minus 1, which is equal to 2 power m minus 1. So let us study about this in depth. Say for example, if you have to find the number of subsets and the number of proper subsets of a set X. is equals to A, B, C, X, Y, and Z. So the set X consists of these elements. So now first I have to find the cardinality of X. What is the cardinality? Simply not, it's simply the number of elements. How many elements are there? Six elements are there over here. So the number six is written over here. So how do we find the number of subsets? By this we have this formula, number of subsets n of p of x. So basically it is 2 power m. We studied in the previous slide, 2 power m, right? So this m we have to replace n by 6. Why? Because it is the number of the x, n of x is 6. So what is my 2 power 6? 64. Now in order to find the number of proper subsets, I have this formula n of p of x minus 1. So it is, what is n of p of x for me? It is 2 power 6. Then it is minus 1. So it is 64 minus 1, I get 63. Yes, students, I hope you have understood. Start with the exercise problem. So exercise 1.2, first sum, third subdivision. Q is a set such that V equals to 4 by 3n, where n belongs to natural number and 2 less than n less than or equal to 5. So natural numbers are counting numbers. It starts from 1, 2, etc. goes on. But then the condition given to us is very clear: 2 less than n less than or equal to 5. So basically n lies between 2 and 5 is included because less or equal to symbol is over here. So n belongs to 3, 4, and then 5. So in the place of n over here, I have to substitute 3 first and then 4 and then 5. So if n equals to 3, y equal to 4 by 3. In the place of n, I have replaced n by 3, I get 4 by 9. Likewise, in the place of n, if I put 4, I get 4 by 12. And then in the place of n, if I put 5, then I get 4 by 15. So my Q is 4, 4 by 9, 4 by 12, 4 by 3. Therefore, what is the cardinality of this? Basically, number of elements. Now, how many number of elements are there? 3 number of elements. So, n of Q is equal to V. Let's move on to the next second sum. You have to identify the sets as finite or infinite sets. Second sum, fourth subdivision. B is equal to x such that x square minus 5x plus 6 equals to 0, where x belongs to a natural number. So this is a quadratic equation. We have to solve it with the splitting up of the middle term. So if you take this, what are the factors of 6? You have these factors: minus 5, minus 1, and minus 3 and minus 2, which is the most appropriate one: minus 3 and minus 2. So while applying, you have to split up the middle term, then you get x minus 3 and x minus 2 equal to 0. Therefore, what is the value of the 3, 2? Therefore, it is a finite set. As we have already seen, a finite set has consists of a finite number of elements. Then second subdivision, y equals to the set of all straight lines passing through a point. So if you take this, there can be any number of straight lines which pass through a point. Therefore, we cannot count it. There is no end to it. Therefore, it comes under infinite set. Okay. Let's move on to the third sum. Which of the following sets are equivalent or unequal or equal sets? So third sum, fourth subdivision. G is such as G equals to x such that x is a prime number and 3 less than x less than 23. Then H is another set such x such that x is a divisor of A to B. So let us write. Therefore, the question is given to us in the set builder form. We have to convert it into the roster form. Therefore, what are the elements in G? We'll get 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, and 19. So these are the prime numbers which lies between 3 and 23. 3 is not included. Likewise, 23 is also not included. because, and then H. Again, H is also written in set builder form. We have to convert it into roster form. So these are the divisors of 18. So it is 1, comma 2, comma 3, comma 6, comma 9, comma 18. So if you see, are they equal? No, they aren't equal. They aren't equal, but then they are equivalent. So what do I mean by equivalent? Equivalent is they should contain the same number of elements. So if you see, how many there are, 1 2 3 4 5 6 6 elements in G. Likewise there are 6 elements in H. So these both are equivalent sets. uh, let's move on to another some subdivision two. C and D is given. C is already given in the roster form, whereas D is given in the set builder form. Let us convert D into the roster form. Now, X, what is given in D? X such that X belongs to W. W stands for whole number, and then they have also given X lies between 1 and 5, it seems. So, what are the whole numbers which between 1 and 5? Obviously, it is 2, 3, and 4. Now, if you see, neither they are equal nor they are equivalent. Thus, they are unequal because the number of elements are also not same. Let's move on to the next sum, fourth sum. In this sum, we have to identify the following sets as null set or singleton set. So, the first subdivision, E equals to X such that X belongs to N, 1 less than X less than 2. Hence, natural numbers, N stands for natural numbers. Natural numbers are counting numbers. So, there cannot be any number which lies between 1 and 2. There cannot be any natural number which lies between 1 and 2. Therefore, A is a singleton set. A is a null set since there are no element in between 1 and 2 in natural numbers. Let's move on to the next subdivision D, the set of all triangles having four sides. It is an impossible event because a triangle cannot have four sides. No triangle has four sides. Therefore, it again D is a null set. The third subdivision, you have C equals to 0. Therefore, it is a singleton set because it consists of one element. So, let's move on to the fifth sum. Fifth sum's question is, state which pairs of sets are disjoint or overlap. So, fifth sum second subdivision. E is equal to x such that x is a prime number, x is greater than 2. And D such that D is a prime number, even prime number. Therefore, let us write C in the roster form. If it is a prime number and if x is greater than 2, we start with 3, 5, 7, 11 and we go on. Whereas if D is an even prime number, the only even prime number is 2, right? So if you see, is there any element common between C and D? No, there is no element common between C and D. Therefore, C and D are disjoint sets. And next question is equal to the consist of elements square, rectangle, circle, rhombus, and triangle. Then we have to list out the elements of the following subset of L. Uh, the number of shapes which have four equal sides for subdivision. So in this, if you take in S, square has four equal sides, rectangle doesn't have, square doesn't have, a rhombus has, whereas a triangle also doesn't have. So what is more appropriate answer to me is square and rhombus. Um, let's move on to the next question, second sum. If A equals to A comma A comma B, then we have to write all the subsets of A. So it is basically, how do we write this? We have to, as I told you, we have to first write the empty set, then you have to write A separately, then A B separately, then the question itself. Next, let's move on to the next question. Eighth sum. Write down the power set of the following set. So in order to write the power set of the following set, you have to first write the subset. How do we write it? Is as first the null set, then you have to write it individually, P, Q, R, S as singleton set, Then 2 by 2 you have to write PQ, PS, PR, QR, QS, RS, and then 3 by 3 you have to write, and then finally the question itself. Now these are the subsets of D. Now how do we write the power set of D? Power set of D is the set of all subsets. So as I told you, it is supposed to be enclosed within the flower brackets. That's it. Next question. Ninth sum. We have to find the number of subsets and number of proper subsets. So my formula is very simple. What is the first question? W is equal to red, blue, and yellow. So first, let me find the cardinality of this set. It is 3, right? There are 3 elements given to me. The number of subsets. What is the formula? N of P of W, which is 2 cubed, which is nothing, 8. Whereas number of parsecs. What is the formula? N of P of W minus 1, which is 2 power B minus 1, 8 minus 1, which is 7. Let's move on to the next sum. A 10 sum first subdivision. What is given to me? N of A is 4. I have to find N of P of A. Again, my formula is very simple. What is my N of P of A? It is 2 power N. So N is replaced by the N of A. What is my N of A given to me? 4. So what is my 2 power 4? It is 16. Let's move on to the next sum of third subdivision. What is given to me? N of P of A is 256. This is given to me. What am I supposed to find? I'm supposed to find N of A. So basically, I have to take the square root of 256 using prime factorization method. So if I take the square root of 256 using prime factorization method, I get 2 power A. So my N of A is the power of 2, which is 8. Right, students? So, assignment will be given to you all through WhatsApp. Thank you so much, students. Have a good day.